Hello, Liverpool fans. Welcome to the Liverpool Report, your go-to source for the latest news, match updates, and transfer stories straight from Anfield. Don't miss out on any of the action. Hit that subscribe button now and stay in the loop with all things Reds. Luis Suarez has hailed Darwin Nunez after the Uruguayan missed a sitter in the draw at Aston Villa and then copped it from his manager. The Reds drew 2-2 at Villa Park, but in the second half Nunez was presented with an excellent chance. Dominik Szoboszlai squared it to the forward, who appeared from the bench, but he missed the target from close range despite no goalkeeper being in sight. Liverpool's draw ultimately saw them open the door slightly for Arsenal and continued the narrative around Nunez, who has been criticised for being wasteful in front of goal throughout his time at Anfield. Arneslot was less than impressed with the forward, not for his glaring miss, but for the attitude he showed after missing from close range. The Dutchman claimed his work rate dropped off in the period after his blunder, but Suarez has leapt to Nunez's defence. Nunez maintained on social media that he would give it my all until the last day I'm here in Liverpool. Suarez, who was a huge success at Anfield, replied to the forward's post with a glowing endorsement of his attitude and character. His fellow Uruguayan said, "Of course, goal scorer, that's how I love you. That's the attitude, always positive. Let's go up." Liverpool's number 9, who joined from Benfica in 2022 in a club record deal, has scored 6 times in 35 appearances this term, and is by no means a regular starter at Anfield. There is talk of a summer exit for the Uruguayan, as the Reds consider reshaping their attack. Slot was questioned on Nunez's display and said, "I can accept every miss, especially from a player who scored 2 very important goals away at Brentford, and that scored for us in the home game against Villa in November. I would prefer him to score, but the word chance says it all. It is a chance. It is not 100% that it goes in the goal. I can accept misses, but what is harder for me to accept is his behaviour after the chance. It got too much in his head. He was not the usual Darwin who works his socks off and makes sure he helps the team. He was too disappointed that he missed that chance. Maybe we will never know, but maybe that is why he was just a fraction short the moment afterwards." Jan Molby was left confused by Trent Alexander-Arnold's claim that winning the Ballon d'Or would mean more than winning the World Cup. The Liverpool star has achieved so much in his young career thus far, including winning the Premier League and Champions League, but there's one award not on the 26-year-old's mantelpiece that he most desires. During an interview last October, he was asked what he'd rather achieve out of winning a second Champions League title, winning the Ballon d'Or, becoming Liverpool captain, or winning an international trophy with England. To the surprise of some, the defender, who is out of contract in the summer, opted for the individual prize currently held by Rodri, given the history he'd make as the first full-back to ever win the award. "Because I believe I can," he told Sky Sports after picking the Ballon d'Or as his choice. "I want to be the first full-back to ever do it. It's only the morning after you retire that you're able to look in the mirror and say, I gave it everything I got. It doesn't matter how many trophies you win or how many medals you've got." Alexander-Arnold's comments were called odd by Molby, who spent 12 years of his career at Anfield. The Dane declared that should Real Madrid, who bid £20 million for him last month, clinch a move for the star in the summer, he wouldn't be the best player at the Santiago Bernabeu. Trent saying winning the Ballon d'Or would mean more than winning the World Cup is an odd statement to make, he told bonuscodebets.co.uk. "You don't expect to hear that from anybody who plays in a team sport. But I understand the importance of winning the Ballon d'Or. We saw how disappointed Vinny Jr. was when Rodri won it. Trent, as good and as unique a player as he is, will find it difficult to be the best player at Real Madrid, let alone the world." Molby admitted should Alexander-Arnold leave for Spain, Liverpool will be in good hands with understudy Connor Bradley stepping up to the plate. While acknowledging the supreme talent the Englishman possesses, the former midfielder claims that the Northern Ireland captain has a big future. "Trent is a unique footballer," the 61-year-old said. "He's a right back, but more so, he's a very good footballer. Connor Bradley's different. He's always in the right position when we defend or attack. He's never overexposed. He's quick and he's determined. Whilst I don't think Liverpool will be happy to see Trent go, it's an area I think the club can cope with and maybe get a backup in. But it looks like Connor Bradley has a big future in the game. A big future in the game. Arneslot said Darwin Nunez was on a downer after his horror miss stalled a second-half fight back. The Reds chief said the Uruguayan couldn't hide his disappointment in the dressing room after the table toppers had to settle for a point at Villa Park. Nunez wasted the chance to fire the Merseysiders back in front, following Trent Alexander-Arnold's deflected shot, which levelled matters after Aston Villa had taken a 2-1 lead at the break. The South American managed to clip the ball over the bar from 6 yards with the goal gaping, reviving memories of another dreadful gaffe from over 3 decades ago when Ronnie Rosenthal somehow clattered an effort into the crossbar with the net at his mercy. Slot said, if you look at the chances in the second half, there is one player in the dressing room who feels quite down, you know who it is. After a draw at Goodison Park last week and lacklustre victory over Wolves, the Dutch coach was asked if he felt his team had suffered a dip in form. This point stretched the Reds' lead at the top of the Premier League table to 8 points. Ahead of Sunday's blockbuster against faltering Manchester City, Slot said he was heartened far more by this show than he was about the previous 2. He said in terms of performance, we weren't really at it at all, Everton, but for obvious reasons, we were unlucky to come away with a draw. I liked this performance a lot. Much, much more than I liked it against Wolves, playing the ball out from the back, creating chances. If you go away to Villa, that's always a difficult fixture. At the start, the season, you know Villa away. That's a difficult one. Manchester City away. That's a difficult one. So, performance-wise, not a dip at all today, in my opinion. What we must not do, and we've done a bit too often now, is we don't get what we deserve. If you look at all the chances and put them in a row, from us and from them, I think it's clear which team should have won this game. We must not make a habit out of that because it's happened a bit too much now. Villa striker Ollie Watkins, who netted a header to give Villa the lead on the stroke of half-time, said it was a tough game there at the top of the league for a reason. But we have a strong record here and always make it hard for teams. Even though we went behind, we reacted well and could have nicked it at the end. Unai Emery is really demanding of us, and we haven't been performing well of late, so he will be happy with that performance. Aston Villa held Liverpool to an entertaining 2-2 draw, as the Reds stretched their lead to 8 points clear at the top, but missed the chance to go 10 clear of Arsenal. The visitors took the lead when a dreadful error from Andres Garcia, on his first Villa start, allowed Diogo Jota to square for Mohamed Salah to fire home, before Villa dragged themselves level when Yuri Tielemans fired in after Liverpool failed to clear. Ollie Watkins then put Villa ahead as he headed home Lucas Digne's cross before the break, after which Jota struck the crossbar from range. Trent Alexander-Arnold then fired Liverpool level with a deflected effort, before Reds substitute Darwin Nunez missed a glorious chance after being found by Dominik Szoboszlai. Villa sub Doniel Malen then almost won it with the final kick. Here are the game's main talking points. From the off, what struck you about both sides was just how different they looked to how we've usually seen them. In Villa's case, that was due to personnel, with Garcia, Axel Disasi, Marco Asensio, and Marcus Rashford all in from the start, with all but Disasi making their first starts for the club. Liverpool's selections have stayed largely consistent all season in terms of the players on the pitch, but here there was a slight tweak as Salah and Jota were the only 2 recognised forwards. Arneslot was seemingly looking for his side to take more control in the middle of the pitch through both Dominik Szoboszlai and Curtis Jones, and they did that from the off as the visitors started well, but Villa would soon overcome that. One thing we know about Unai Emery is that he will never back down from a challenge, and it was as though Villa saw beating the Liverpool press as a test they had to pass in the first half. They usually did, but playing out from the back eventually cost them. Garcia passed the ball straight to Jota on the corner of his own penalty area, and the Portuguese, who otherwise looked rusty in front of goal, was always going to lay it off to Salah for the opener. and his 38th goal contribution in the Premier League this season, Cristiano Ronaldo got 37 in that stellar 2007-08 campaign. It had appeared as though Villa had just rode out the Liverpool pressure at that moment, but a key slip cost them. Ahead in the game and seeking to punish Villa's high line, you thought that this clash looked perfectly set up for Liverpool at 0-1. But a combination of their own slack play and Villa's determination saw the hosts wrestle control. Liverpool were far too reactive, both in defence and midfield, to the Villa attackers building momentum, and it was no real surprise when Tielemans fired in after several missed attempts to clear Liverpool's lines. Worse was to come for the Reds right at the end of the first half, as Digne got forward down the left and crossed expertly for Watkins to head home. Villa had applied the slightest of pressure, and it had paid off for them, with Liverpool floored. Liverpool didn't start the second half all that well, and there were a couple of occasions when Villa could have extended their lead, most notably when Rashford rounded Alisson, but couldn't finish from the range. That might have been the incident which focused Liverpool minds, and soon enough it was the visitors who wrestled control of the game, winning a succession of corners before, as they took advantage of Villa's insistence on pushing forward. They equalised when Alexander-Arnold and Salah almost insisted the ball went over the line, with the former firing in via a deflection. So a chance to go 10 points clear is lost, and now it is Arsenal who have the tantalising advantage of a game in hand. This difficult run of games was always going to present the chance for Liverpool to streak ahead, but Slot will point to just how hard these fixtures have been, with easier matches on the horizon after the meetings with Manchester City and Newcastle in the next week. The Reds are going to have to start winning consistently again soon though, as they are losing their vice-like grip on this league.